disappointing, really, to be honest. I mean, look, great from Moses, but just Dillian, the inactivity, the age, it was always going to be too much early on. But look, obviously you got to give big respect to Moses Itauma. He's a brilliant fighter, but it's a bit sad watching Dillian.
I've been in training for maybe 12 to 14 weeks, and I've ticked every box. So if it wasn't my night to win today, it wasn't going to be my night. But I knew that I'd done everything I could to make this night my night.
It's quite impressive. But what was more impressive, this kid's hand speed was phenomenal. I mean, you know, he's a southpaw, and that makes him dangerous anyway. But he wasn't pouring with his jab. Everything was solid.
He got caught the head on the temple. And then after that, it was a long night for him. I'm a bit sad because I didn't want him to go out like that.
Explosive and quick, faster than a lot of people thought. We thought it was going to be 3-4 rounds, and if it gets past that, it'll be a bit harder fight. But you know, one round, every fighter wants to come out and be explosive and knock out their opponent and go home. And
it was an unbelievable, ruthless, short performance, caught him with good shots and done an absolute job.
Did you expect that?
No. I fancied him to win. I thought he'd stop him, but I didn't think it would be
move
like
a little bit early. I felt there was opportunity to hold early. There was an opportunity to take a knee before it got to that. He's got the experience and he didn't utilise none of the stuff.
To be honest, like what Ben was telling me what to do, for the first maybe 2-3 minutes, I saw he was doing exactly what Ben telling me to do, but it's just, you know, the fight nerves, whatnot kicked in. And then after maybe like the first minute, I was like, okay, cool. I keep seeing this happen. I can't miss it. So, yeah, man, execute.
Fans and fighters couldn't believe their eyes when Moses smashed Dillian Whyte in the very first round. The young star came out fast, sharp, and full of power, while Whyte looked slow and stuck, almost like he didn't belong in the same ring. The knockout wasn't just a loss, it felt like a total embarrassment in front of the whole world. Even Eddie Hearn couldn't hide how bad it was, calling it a disaster and almost closing the book on Dillian's career with just a grin.
You know, mojo from Dillian, but listen, it's very difficult when you're 38 years old. You've been out of the ring for a couple of years and you've just had that Tete fight, and you fight a brilliant young sharp fighter. We said that, you know, unless he gets into the fight, it's going to be a disastrous start for him, and it was more than a disastrous start.
Would you want to see Dillian retire?
Yeah, 100%.
What next for Moses? Because there was talk about Usyk and other fights.
I wanted to see him in with a live, active heavyweight, you know, because he's definitely good in.
Frank Warren didn't just give credit to Moses, he tore Dillian Whyte apart at the same time. He called Moses the fighter of his generation, while Whyte was left flat on the floor like a broken piece of the past after that brutal first-round knockout. For Whyte, this wasn't history, it was humiliation. For Moses, it was the start of greatness. One man is rising to the top, the other is struggling just to stand up.
I think we're seeing history being made with him. I really do feel he's going to be a fighter of his generation and of the. I think in time, if he continues to do what he does, he will be up there with all the great heavyweights of all time.
Derek Chisora didn't hold back at all. He ripped into Whyte for making excuses and said straight up that Moses beat him clean with that shot to the temple. No excuses, no maybes. Chisora's words hit hard because they're true. Dillian wasn't beaten by illness or age. He was beaten by a younger, sharper fighter. Moses looked fast, strong, and precise, while Whyte was already stumbling and broken before the first round even got going. That's not bad luck. That's being completely outclassed.
You know, this is sad.
I saw a message on Instagram from Sonny Edwards. He said that there was a rumor going around about Dillian Whyte's leg wasn't as good as it was. Had you heard that? Did you see that in the ring?
Mate, we can't make excuses to take away from Moses. Moses done very well, so let's not come up with excuses. If you go in the ring, you're not 100%. Don't give us the bullshit when you lose. Yeah, and that's not if you go in the ring when you know 100% and then you win and then you want to give us the bullshit, yeah? So, but what I'm trying to say is, people always say, oh, I was not well, that's why I lost the fight. No, you know, you didn't lose the fight because the younger man has stepped up and then you got caught. The first show which killed him was the tempo show. He hit him around the temple, grazing here. He dug down so low that they were not grazing. The grazing is a temple, and that was it.
You think he should be?
Joseph Parker didn't dress it up. He said it plain. At only 20, Moses already looks like the full package: speed, movement, power, and ring IQ, and the knockout proved it. YT, with all his years of experience, couldn't even make it past one round. The difference was glaring. Moses is rising with every punch, showing he's something special, while YT fell apart like an old gatekeeper who didn't belong in there. This wasn't hype, and Parker's words only confirmed what the KO already told us. Moses is operating on another level.
He's a great talent. I think it's at 20 years old, he's put on this massive stage, fighting someone like Whyte who has the experience. But if you look at it, Moses ticks all the boxes in terms of speed, movement, ring IQ, probably packs power, you know. He's been knocking out everyone put in front of him, so he's a very special talent. And that's why everyone's excited about him as a fighter.
After dropping Whyte in just one round, Moses still showed respect, thanking his fans and staying humble. That's the difference between him and Dillian. Moses knocks you out cold, then keeps his feet on the ground. Whyte, once known for running his mouth, now lies silent on the canvas. At only 20, Moses is already proving he can handle the pressure, the spotlight, and all the expectations with a calmness beyond his age. That mix, humble outside the ring, ruthless inside it, is exactly what makes him so dangerous for the whole division. Whyte was just the latest to fall, but Moses' mindset shows he's built for much bigger nights ahead.
Thank you very much. To my fans, to the people that came out, I'd like to say a big thank you. I appreciate every single person that supported me. I'm always going to be under pressure. Like, I'm 20-year-old doing well, so some people don't like to see me do well, some people do, and I guess I've just got to keep doing me.
Dave Coldwell didn't hold back when he talked about Moses. He said Moses is the most exciting prospect in world boxing right now, and he proved it with that first-round knockout of Dillian Whyte. No stalling, no dragging it out for the crowd, just pure destruction. Coldwell even went as far as calling him the best prospect in the sport, and after watching Whyte hit the canvas like dead weight, it's tough to disagree. Moses brings nothing but fireworks, while YT has turned into nothing more than highlight reel material.
You know, see how far this kid can go. When we get something spectacular, you want to see him have questions put in front of them and see, you know, like you say, can they go a few rounds? What happens? Because there's still those unanswered questions that we've got. Can he carry it on throughout the, you know, the later rounds? Can his feet stay sharp? Can he, you know, does he retain that sharpness, you know, past 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 rounds? But so far so good, mate. This is boxing, and you're not in there for overtime. And Moses Itauma certainly doesn't owe us any extra rounds, any extra time in fight. He wants to go out there and get rid of these guys as soon as possible, which is why he is so exciting, and which is why, for me, even before tonight, for me, he's the best prospect in world.
Lawrence Okolie didn't sugarcoat a thing when he broke down Moses' performance. He said Moses looked sharp, explosive, and devastating, while Dillian Whyte looked finished before the fight even began. You could see it in Whyte's body language, his shape, his whole presence. It was gone. Moses didn't just beat him, he dismantled him in a way that proved every doubt about Whyte's decline. Okolie admitted the knockout was always coming, and he was right. One round, one brutal finish, and Whyte was laid out. This wasn't just another fight, it was a generational clash that showed the gap between old and new. Moses stepped in with fire in his eyes. Whyte stepped in with excuses on his tongue, and the result was a knockout nobody will forget.
Very, very sharp, very, very explosive, you know. I thought he would get them out of there. You know, as the week went on, seeing the shape of Dillian, hearing everyone talking, but it is what it is.
Leigh Wood's praise for Moses went deeper than just power and knockouts. He highlighted the mindset, the discipline, the maturity, the willingness to learn. That's the edge Moses has over fighters like Dillian Whyte. YT never listened, never adjusted, just the same script every time. Big talk, reckless plan, and eventually getting sparked out. Moses is different. At only 20, he's a sponge, soaking up knowledge, making adjustments mid-fight, growing sharper with every round. That's terrifying for the heavyweight division. When someone this young already has speed, power, IQ, and the humility to evolve, it's a nightmare for the old guard. YT's years of experience meant nothing when the bell rang. Moses showed levels. He proved he's not hype. He's the new breed. Lee Wood sees it, the fans see it, and that brutal knockout confirmed it. Moses isn't just knocking people out, he's coming to take over.
Extremely talented, but he's ticking all the boxes. He's not just skillful. He's determined. He's fit. He's fast. He's on the right page with Lee and Ben. They're just unbelievable what they do. But he's on the same page as them, so he knows when they say, "Oh, like we want to see more of this next bar," or "When we see we like this, this was good. Less of this, more of that." He's bang, makes an adjustment straight away, which is for his age, his maturity level is extremely.
Antonio Tarver took the hype around Moses and strapped a rocket to it. He compared him to a young Mike Tyson. And the scary part? After that demolition of Dillian Whyte, it's hard to disagree. The raw power, the composure, the cold, surgical killer instinct, it's all there. Moses doesn't just swing wild like a brawler. He sets traps, breaks you down, and then detonates with precision. That's why Whyte never stood a chance. He thought his chin and toughness could carry him, but one perfectly placed shot to the temple turned him into a ragdoll on the canvas. Tarver nailed it. Fighters are going to dread sharing the ring with Moses. He's not reckless. He's patient, calculated, and devastating. At only 20, he's already the nightmare matchup for aging heavyweights who can't keep up with his speed, sharpness, and hunger. Whyte was just the first big name to feel that wrath. The Tyson comparison might sound heavy, but Moses is earning it knockout by knockout. Whyte's downfall wasn't just another fight, it was a statement. A fading veteran thought experience would save him, and instead he became the newest clip in Moses' growing Tyson-style highlight reel.
I didn't expect that. Did you expect that?
Hey, this is a young kid, 20 years old, with devastating knockout power, bro. This have Mike Tyson type of energy all over it. He's going to give these tough guys, he's going to give these veterans a hell of a time, bro. He's poised, he's patient, and he got that knockout power. He know how to set it up. It's going to be a nightmare to get rid of this guy.
The kind of brutal honesty that only a veteran can. He didn't sugarcoat it. Dillian Whyte is old, washed, and had no business sharing the ring with a 20-year-old beast like Moses Itauma. YT came in with the same tired plan he's carried for years. Land one big punch and hope it changes everything. But he didn't even get the chance. Moses mauled him, dismantled him, and left him sprawled out before the cameras could even blink. The truth is, YT's been knocked out too many times. His chin is gone, his reflexes dulled, and his career is dangling by a thread. Tarver's words sting because they're not opinion, they're fact. This wasn't a back-and-forth battle. It was an execution, one-sided and merciless. And while Tarver gave Moses full credit for the destruction, he also threw down a challenge. Don't just feast on faded veterans. Test yourself against the young, hungry killers, too. Still, for Moses, this was the perfect launch pad. A recognizable name, a devastating knockout, and a statement made loud and clear to the division: the new era has arrived. YT, meanwhile, is now cemented as the kind of fighter young lions use to build their highlight reels. Tarver exposed the reality perfectly. Moses is the future. YT is finished.
Whyte came in here, being knocked out a couple times, wanted to see could he land a punch on this young kid, but he didn't have a chance tonight. He got molded over, and this is a big win for a young guy. But he got to continue to fight credible opponents. And he got to get tested. He got to fight a young fighter like himself and beat a credible opponent like that. Not these old, washed-up fighters that he can only just look good.
Moses Itauma's first-round demolition of Dillian Whyte wasn't just a knockout, it was a statement, a seismic shift that shook the heavyweight division to its core. A 20-year-old walked into that ring with ice in his veins, calm and unshaken, and walked out with Whyte's career dangling on the ropes, his body flat on the canvas. That night wasn't about hype, it was about exposure. The old guard, the veterans who thought experience would carry them, got shown up by a kid rewriting the rules. Legends like Antonio Tarver and Frank Warren didn't hesitate to compare Moses to the greats of the past. And honestly, the scary part is that he's only scratching the surface. YT, he's now reduced to a cautionary tale, another fading name turned into highlight reel material. But Moses, he's already being spoken of as the face of a new era, the predator every heavyweight secretly dreads. And here's the real question, who dares step in next? Who's brave enough to share a ring with this young destroyer? And more importantly, who's capable of surviving? So I'll throw it to you. Are you backing Moses as the inevitable future king of boxing? Or do you believe there's still someone out there who can stop the rise of the 20-year-old phenom?